Hello everybody, it's Noah Farrow, your favorite bipolar actor, and today we are running into another video. This video is going to be about the ocean, which I don't mess with. Rule of thumb. 2 rules. Title: Diver reveals what he encountered while in the ocean. By the way, he says he's never going back. That was a... Should have known that before you went down there, brother. Ha ha! Unless you Aquaman. Go!
Despite centuries of exploration and scientific research, much of the world's oceans remain unexplored, and we have only scratched the surface of our understanding of this vast, mysterious realm. It is estimated that we have explored less than 20% of the world's oceans, with much of the remaining 80% still largely uncharted and unknown. This is due in part to the sheer size and depth of the oceans, as well as the challenges involved in studying them. The deep sea, for example, is an especially difficult environment to explore, with crushing pressures, extreme temperatures, and complete darkness. In recent years, advances in technology and oceanographic research have enabled scientists to explore previously inaccessible parts of the ocean, such as the...
You know what might be mind-numbingly groundbreaking for the... I couldn't talk for a second there. What did... Mind-numbingly groundbreaking in this field is the rise of robotics and AI. Because, I mean, they have robotic dogs that will, 1, have flamethrowers on it, 2, have shotguns on it. So, instead of having, I think a lot of it is, human casualties. So, all we have to do now is have AI instead go into the ocean. Now, I am not an ocean guy. We'll talk about that later. I mean, I love the ocean in general, but we'll talk about it. We'll talk about it. Hey, you just wait a minute. Don't rush me.
Deep sea vents and uncover new species and ecosystems that were previously unknown to us. However, much of the ocean remains unexplored, and there is still much to learn about the role of the ocean in regulating the Earth's climate and supporting life on our planet. It's also true that we have mapped more of the moon's surface than we have of our own oceans.
Wow.
This is partly due to the fact that the moon is much closer to Earth than the deep ocean, and is therefore more accessible to exploration and mapping.
Damn!
In contrast, much of the world's oceans remain largely uncharted and unknown, with only a small fraction of the ocean floor having been mapped in detail. This is due in part to the challenges of exploring the deep ocean, which is a hostile and difficult environment to study. Interestingly, in recent years, divers and fishermen have come forward and detailed their strange experiences while being in and around the world's oceans. One diver posted the following story to social media. He said the following: "I worked with a guy who used to be a deep-sea welder. He also worked on various things in the ocean, such as rigs, which would require him to dive deep beneath the ocean. He got talking one day as we shared a lot of things in common, and he told me about some of the strange things that we witnessed while carrying out jobs in the ocean. Due to the years of experience that he had, he told me that he could easily identify wildlife, and said that he would often encounter things like deep-sea fish, sharks, along with various squid species."
So, what I was going to say earlier is, my thing with the ocean, love the ocean. Beautiful, beautiful thing. The ocean is just not as sexy as space, and that's why I think we don't put as much money into it. 1, it's already on Earth. I mean, it's not like it's not carbon-based. You know what I'm saying? It's not going to be silicone-based or, So it's, so we kind of have a roundabout idea, unless Atlantis is down there. Then it's like, another whale. Awesome. The other thing I have with the ocean is that it's so treacherous. So I'm not as interested in the ocean because I'm like, we don't have the money that we put into it. And then it's so treacherous that people don't want to deal with it. That's why deal with it. That's why I'm very AI and robotic excited, because maybe we can explore more. Because once we know more about the ocean, maybe we can know more about ourselves. Even though I'm not all hyped about the ocean, I'm not ignorant enough to say, hey, just dismiss it. That would be stupid.
He said that saturation diving pays well, but it's a job that carries its risks, and that this encounter made him think twice about re-entering the water. He said that on this one occasion, he and a team was called out to a big job, which saw him and the team assembling and maintaining an oil rig and pipelines. While he was down there, each of the team had their positions. He detailed that the visibility wasn't great, and that it was overall a difficult job to carry out. He said that on day 5 he got into position and started working, but after about 20 minutes he kept on feeling something heavy touch his back. At first he thought it might have been another team member, but when he turned around, there was no one there. His second thought was that it could have been a school of fish, going on to say that these underwater structures are somewhat of an attractor for smaller species, as they act like protection for them. When it happened, he said that a few minutes later he was able to get a glimpse of this thing, and said the only way he could describe it was that it looked like some type of squid. He detailed that the organism put him into a sort of trance, saying that it did this by changing shape and colour. He said that he had never experienced anything like it before, as he was still awake and knew what was going on, but noted that he couldn't move. The reason that he said the organism was like a squid is because this is the only animal that he was aware of that had this type of ability, although he did say that he'd never encountered anything that looked like this creature. He said that he's never got over the fact that this creature was able to paralyze him without touching him. When I asked whether anyone else had seen all of this unfold, he told me that he was behind a large piece of equipment that obstructed his view, saying that all of the other members of the diving team were working on areas of the rig that were out of view. So although a team was within the area...
Top 5 scariest things that could happen to you would be in the bottom of the ocean and something taps you on the shoulder, and it looks like that. I'm in the water. We've evolved out of water. I'm not supposed to be down here. There's nothing I can do but get eaten. And that, fundamentally, as a human being, is something that we don't want. Being eaten is just something in our mind is like, hey, that's not what we do. We've evolved past this. Thousands of years of evolution to not think about being eaten. So once we're being eaten, no, thank you.
None of them could see each other.
I don't know why I'm talking about getting eaten. I don't know where the story's going.
He also said that these structures are massive, and even if they were working close together, the visibility in the region that they were in wasn't great. He continued saying that once the creature approached him, getting within around 10 feet, he said that it slowed down its coloration and stopped moving its body into different shapes, and once it did this, he then started to regain movements in his arms and legs. After the creatures swam off, he said that he had an incredibly painful headache and felt very dizzy. On the day of the encounter, he said that everything was fine before he entered the water. He didn't complain of having a headache. He didn't have a drink or anything in his system that would compromise him, so he was sure about what he had witnessed. When I questioned him on the size of the creature, he said that it was difficult to say, and the only thing he remembered about its size was that it was much bigger than him. He was certain that it wasn't a common squid species that he had encountered before, saying that normally the areas where he worked had much smaller squids, and that they couldn't do what this creature did. He said he tried to research what this thing was, but every time he did, he came up empty, being unable to find a squid or creature that matched what he encountered. At the time, he said that I was the only person he told the story to, and that he didn't want anyone knowing about it. He did admit that he was scared to go back into the water, as this organism possessed the ability to control
damn right.
him, and it's something that really surprised him, as he'd never had this happen to him before.
Let me tell you something. I understand that everybody is a fan of what they're really in love with, and they jump right back on the horse. People, exactly. Right back on the horse. I used to play football. I didn't care if I got knocked out. Just get back in there. That's stupid, okay? Ladies and gentlemen, that is something in our mind. Because this brother, I'm not going back in the ocean. The dude tapped him on the shoulder and gave him a warning. Hey, you ever come back down here? You got some teeth for you, eh? You got one more chance. This is not your neighborhood.
Even though the encounter only lasted a minute or so, it was something that he didn't want to relive. He said that the headache lasted about a week, and it was easily the worst headache he'd ever had before. After this experience, he said that he never encountered the creature again, and that as of today, he has no idea what it was that he encountered. End quote. Interestingly, this diver isn't the first person to come forward and say that they encountered a mysterious creature while diving in the ocean, and it's led some to suggest that there's undiscovered species that people are encountering that are not yet known to science. Oddly enough, just recently, scientists came forward and proposed that octopuses might be aliens or originated from space. The idea that octopuses might have originated from space is based on the fact that they are highly intelligent and exhibit some unique traits that are not seen in other animals on Earth. For example, octopuses have a complex nervous system and can change color and texture to camouflage themselves in their environment. Additionally, their genetic makeup is quite different from other animals, leading some to speculate that they might have evolved independently from a different ancestor than other animals on Earth. Another thing to keep in mind is that animals belonging to the group Cephalopoda can grow to extreme sizes. The largest squid species in the world is the giant squid, which is also one of the largest invertebrates in the world. Giant squids can grow up to 43 feet, or 13 meters in length, and can weigh up to 600 pounds, or 272 kilograms. Giant squids have a mantle body that can reach lengths of up to 8 feet or 2.5 meters, and 2 long feeding tentacles that can reach lengths of up to 30 feet. They have 8 arms that are lined with suction cups and are used for grabbing prey and bringing it to their beak-like mouth. Despite their large size, not much is known about the behavior and biology of giant squids, as they live in the deep ocean and are rarely encountered by humans. The first footage of a live giant squid in its natural habitat was captured in 2012 by a team of Japanese scientists using a specialized underwater camera. Since then, several more sightings and captures of giant squids have been reported, providing new insights into their biology and behavior. Scientists are constantly discovering new species in the world's oceans, but it is difficult to estimate the exact number of new oceanic species that are discovered each year. This is partly due to the fact that many parts of the ocean remain unexplored, and new species are often discovered during research expeditions and surveys.
We are constantly finding new species of animals on land. Imagine, we probably know 2% of what's in the ocean. Always, constantly, whether it's a new ant, a new spider species, a new rabbit species, new rat species, or whatever. The ocean.
According to the World Register of Marine Species, which maintains a database of all known marine species, an average of around 2,000 new marine species are described and named each year. However, this number can vary widely from year to year, depending on factors such as the level of research funding and the number of expeditions and surveys that are conducted. It is important to note that the discovery of new species is just the first step in understanding the biodiversity of the oceans, and much more research is needed to understand the ecological roles of these species and how they interact with each other and with their environment. Additionally, many oceanic species remain undiscovered or poorly studied, highlighting the need for continued research and conservation efforts to protect these vital ecosystems. Scientists have come forward and said that the oceans are difficult to map for a number of reasons. The average depth of the ocean is around 3,800 meters, or 12,000 feet, and the deepest parts of the ocean can reach depths of over 11,000 meters, or 36,000 feet. This makes it difficult to explore and map the ocean floor using traditional methods, as the water pressure at such depths is immense and can damage or destroy equipment. The ocean covers over 70% of the Earth's surface, making it a vast and complex environment to study. The vast majority of the ocean floor remains unexplored, and only a small fraction of it has been mapped in detail. Mapping the ocean floor requires specialized equipment, such as sonar systems and underwater vehicles, which are expensive and often difficult to operate in the harsh underwater environment. The ocean is subject to constantly changing weather and environmental conditions, which can make it difficult to conduct research and obtain accurate measurements. Unlike land, which can be easily accessed and studied by researchers, much of the ocean is inaccessible to humans due to its depth and the challenges involved in conducting research in underwater environments. Despite these challenges, Advances in technology and oceanographic research have enabled scientists to make significant progress in mapping and understanding the ocean. For example, the use of satellite technology and underwater vehicles has enabled scientists to explore previously inaccessible parts of the ocean and obtain detailed maps and data on the ocean floor.
Satellite.
However, much more research and exploration is needed to fully understand the complexity and importance of the ocean and its role in supporting life on our planet. The total number of species in the ocean is difficult to estimate accurately, as the vast majority of the ocean remains unexplored and many species are still waiting to be discovered. However, scientists have identified and named approximately 250,000 marine species to date, and it is estimated that there could be anywhere from 500,000 to 10 million more species that have yet to be discovered. Marine species come in a wide variety of forms and sizes, from tiny plankton to massive whales, and live in a range of habitats, from shallow coral reefs to the deep ocean trenches. The ocean is also home to a high level of biodiversity, with many species exhibiting unique adaptations to their environment, such as bioluminescence, camouflage, and extreme temperature tolerance. The oceans are critically important for our planet in many ways. The oceans play a crucial role in regulating the Earth's climate. They absorb and store large amounts of carbon dioxide and help to regulate the Earth's temperature and weather patterns. The oceans are home to a vast array of plant and animal species, many of which are still undiscovered. This biodiversity is important for maintaining the health and stability of the ocean ecosystem and provides important benefits to humans.
Have you guys seen, and I'm sure many of you have, because if you're watching this, you're probably really into the ocean, but have you guys seen the Great Pacific Garbage Patch? It is a giant country size, maybe island size, garbage in the ocean, just piled up in the ocean. It's insanity. Google it. Do yourself a favor. Do yourself a favor.
Human populations,
I'm a pirate.
Such as food, medicines, and recreation. The oceans provide a significant source of food for millions of people around the world, particularly in developing countries where fish and seafood are a major source of protein. The ocean also supports many livelihoods, such as fishing, shipping, and tourism. Phytoplankton, tiny plants that live in the ocean, are responsible for producing over half of the oxygen in the Earth's atmosphere. They are also a critical part of the ocean food web, providing food for many other marine species. Despite their importance, the oceans are facing numerous threats. It is important that we take action to protect and conserve the health and biodiversity of the oceans for the benefit of both current and future generations. So, what do you make of the mysterious squid story, and what do you think the diver encountered? Be sure to leave your questions and answers in the comment section below and help.
Yes, what do you make of the mysterious squid story, and what do you think the diver encountered? One, I think he just froze. He probably saw a squid, a different kind of squid. I mean, we just in relatively speaking, discovered that there was an actual giant squid. It was just legends and like sperm whales getting beat up. So this could be anything. And that's actually why he opened up in the beginning, tells a good story, opened up in the beginning, let us know, hey, we don't really know anything about the ocean. So when I tell you this crazy story, don't come back. Don't come at me, bro. Because you don't know, we don't know. It probably was some sort of squid, and then he just froze. You never know. The human mind is funny. He's underwater, deep under ocean water, and sees something he's never seen before. The brain freezes and sees what it wants to see. Ta-da! Anyway, I have more reactions somewhere up there. One of those boxes. Choose to go down the rabbit hole. Also, like and subscribe, and I'll talk to you next time.